Ever wonder what happens when you dye your hair neon green to prove your boss wrong? I worked at Luigi's Pizza, where my manager Derek was convinced I was stealing from the tip jar. Every time money went missing, Derek would pull me into his cramped office that smelled like old cheese. "I know it's you, Sam," he'd say, leaning back in his squeaky chair. "The numbers don't add up when you're working." The thing is, I wasn't the only one with access to that tip jar. We had 5 other delivery drivers plus 3 counter workers who stood right next to it all day. But Derek had tunnel vision. It was always me. The accusations started 2 months into the job. Derek made passive-aggressive comments in front of customers. "Oh, Sam's here, better keep an eye on the tips tonight," he'd say with this fake laugh. The other employees started giving me weird looks. He even started keeping a notebook labeled Sam's shifts like he was solving a crime. The breaking point came on a busy Friday night. Derek stormed out of his office, face red as marinara sauce. $43 missing from the jar, he announced loudly. And guess who was working the counter today? That's when he installed a security camera pointed directly at my section. Not at the actual tip jar in my workspace. He told everyone it was because of recent theft issues, basically calling me a thief without saying it. I was beyond frustrated because I'd never stolen a penny. I needed this job to pay for college, and Derek was destroying my reputation over something I didn't do. But here's what really got me fired up. Derek's buddy Mike was always hanging around the front counter during slow periods. I'd caught him grabbing handfuls of singles from the tip jar when Derek was in the back office doing inventory. Mike had been working there for 3 years and was Derek's drinking buddy. Derek would never suspect his best friend of stealing. So I hatched a plan that was either genius or completely insane. I went to CVS that night and bought the most electric neon green hair dye I could find. Not just green, this stuff was like radioactive waste green, the kind that hurt your eyes to look at directly. I spent 2 hours in my apartment bathroom, getting green stains everywhere. When I was done, my hair looked like it belonged in a cyberpunk movie. Monday morning, I walked into Luigi's looking like I'd been struck by lightning. Derek did a double take but didn't say anything. Here's the key part of my plan. I made sure to position myself near the tip jar every chance I got. Whenever Derek was around, I'd stand right in that camera's view with my glowing green hair impossible to miss. I even waved at the camera a few times. For 3 days, I made myself the most visible person in that restaurant. My hair was like a beacon. You couldn't miss me if you tried. Sure enough, on Thursday night, money went missing again. Derek immediately started his usual routine, marching toward me with that smug look. "Sam, we need to talk," he said, pointing toward his office. But then I said something that stopped him cold. "Maybe you should check the camera footage first." We crowded around his computer as he pulled up the security feed. There I was, bright green hair visible in every frame, standing nowhere near the tip jar when the money disappeared. But there was Mike, clear as day, reaching into the tips while Derek was in the back doing inventory. The timestamp showed exactly when it happened, 3:47 p.m., while I was outside loading my car. Derek went completely silent as he watched his drinking buddy steal from the jar. Mike didn't even try to be sneaky about it. He just grabbed a handful of bills and shoved them in his pocket. I swear you could hear a pin drop. Derek's face went from red to pale like he'd just watched a ghost punch him in the gut. "That son of a," Derek muttered, rewinding the footage to watch it again. Mike got fired on the spot. Derek called him that night and told him not to bother coming in ever again. Derek never apologized. Directly, his ego was too big for that. But he did make me shift supervisor the next week with a $2 raise and stopped the theft accusations completely. I kept the green hair for 2 months just to make sure the lesson stuck. Best part? My tips actually went up because customers remembered the green-haired delivery guy. Sometimes the boldest move is the smartest one.